I would definitely recommend, you get these for like 20 bucks. Either get yourself a set of divination rods and experiment with them, or just make them with the big pens and hangovers, like hangovers, God, thinking of Christmas, and hangers, as I mentioned. And what you want to do is hold them very, very steady until they stop moving, right? So they're always going to move a tiny little bit, right? But what you can do you can do a number of things with these. So what these are really good for is detecting energy, the energy field of another person. So if you, this is really interesting, and I definitely encourage you to experiment. We can't do it in the room, but I encourage you to experiment with this yourself. If you have somebody, you have them stand 10 feet from you, and you tell them just to very quietly think of a thought that makes them really angry or really sad or really jealous or one of these sort of emotions. If you hold these very, very steady from 10 feet away and very slowly, you have to keep them very level, because if you dip them down, they'll sway. But if you hold them very level, and you try to keep them straight as best as you can, because you can't control them because they're in these little handles. You have no control over them, right? So, but if you hold them as steady as you can, you have to wait until they settle down, and start very slowly and gently walking towards your person. As they get to the edge of their energy field, they will tip like this, right? What you will find is if somebody's thinking something that's like anger or hate or jealousy or anything like that, you could be 2 inches from them before these will tip. Right? Now, I had a friend at my apartment in Brooklyn when I was there, when I started messing around with these things, who had just had a baby. And she dropped in, and I said to her, "Oh, I want to try this on you. Go stand over there and think about her newborn baby," right? So she literally stood at the other end of the room in my apartment, and admittedly it wasn't a very big apartment in New York, but she stood at the end of the room, and I'm just standing there. I hadn't even taken one step, and they crossed like that. And what I actually had to start doing is backing up, and I backed all the way down the hallway. And I was literally down to the front door of the building, before they actually straightened out. So there was about 30 feet between her and the tip of these things, because I'd asked her to focus on her newborn baby, right? So those of you who've had newborn babies know what that's like. So the thing is that it shows you that the energy field is massively expanded with positive thought and positive feeling, and shrink wrapped onto you with negative feeling.